Look at you. You've been here a month now. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
You got yourself set up. Look at the table. This worked out really well, huh?
I'm really happy.
So how's this setup going for you?
Yeah, it's good.
Are you standing? How are you? How are you working?
This back.
Oh, okay.
I'm
I
sitting on this
see.
thing.
I'm like, how is he doing this?
No,
So you just move the table back.
Yeah, this table's back. And
Yeah.
I sit on.
And then you
this,
sit.
And actually, normally I'm standing and kind of like.
Yeah.
You've probably seen me like the little dance I do. Trying to
It's like an active learning exercise where you're like moving around.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you've got all of your supplies here. And are you sitting on the table? I always sit on the table. This is actually this table. When we lived in Japan. Mm-hmm. This is my parents' table from when we lived in Japan when I was a kid.
Oh, really?
Just like the cars, like your parents. Yeah.
So this came from Japan?
Yeah, and I painted it because it was just getting really gross, like the wood. It needed a lot of like love and affection for maybe like sanding and stuff. So I just painted it instead. But yeah, when we moved back the second time, like shipped everything back. Okay. And there were some pieces that my parents had that I was like always wanted, and that was one of them. So it's fun, yeah. But, I had to cover up, like, random things, like dogs and stuff like that. But, I think it's functional for a place like this. But, yeah, what I was going to say is I sit on it.
Okay.
It's pretty
sturdy.
Really sturdy. Yeah, it's pretty sturdy.
Like
so,
yeah.
But when you're sitting, are you sitting on a stool or are you sitting on...
What do you mean?
If you sit in front of this.
Oh. No, usually I'm like...
on that as like a stool.
Yeah, as like a stool, basically.
Cool. Yeah, great.
But yeah, usually I am standing in front of it.
Awesome. So this table finally has come into use.
Yeah, and I usually am like on the floor painting.
Which can hurt your back.
Which is... I get in like kind of crazy positions when I'm painting.
Okay.
And, a lot of watercolorists paint at an angle. And I always kind of thought, like, I don't need to do that. You get, like, you do get nice effects with it flat. Okay. And I do like a lot of those effects.
Because when you first started, you were doing flat things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just, painting flat. But the effects are different with it.
With the
tilted.
angle.
Yeah, I'm like understanding why most watercolorists do it like this.
Nice. Okay.
It's kind of easier to get like a flat wash.
I see.
Because when it's flat, it just kind of spreads out.
And is this a piece that you had anticipated working on, or is this something that just kind of happened?
This one just kind of happened.
Is this similar to other work, or is this something completely new for you?
It's a little similar. I often will like work from pieces from art history. Like this is based on a Raphael piece.
I see.
But I'm like.
And it has sections. I noticed that it's cut paper. So what's the plan there? Does it have levels?
So I'm experimenting with a lot of different things.
Okay.
Yeah, I just ripped the paper here, and so you have these 3 different sections that kind of give it a little...
Like a dimension thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dimension, I'm going to paste it, and hopefully we'll get some interesting watercolor effects with the borders there. Because, with watercolor, it's usually a pretty uniform surface. Like, nothing is really broken with that. Whereas with, like, oil painting, they can build up textures and things like that. Watercolor you can't. And also I'm using these wax pastel here, which resists the water. So it kind of forms these borders between things.
Yeah. So how long have you been working on this, and how long do you anticipate it taking you?
Yeah. I don't know, when did I start this one, Chow? Do you remember?
I think only like 2 days ago.
Maybe.
2 days.
Yeah. 2 days ago.
Nice.
Yeah, I would say another few days probably.
Yeah, he was working really hard.
Yeah, focusing on it. Well, do you bounce between multiple compositions and multiple things that you're working on too?
Yeah, I've been like experimenting.
Is there something
with a lot
here?
of I'll show. So what I kind of have been bouncing between is I'll do like a watercolor, and then I'm experimenting with. This is Yupo paper.
Oh yeah.
So it's paper made of plastic.
Right.
And so it's wax pastel with alcohol ink. And then what happened next?
Will you
Acrylic.
remove anything, or is this the texture that it's going to be?
I think this one's done. I'm kind of I don't want to. Oh wait, sorry, it's upside down.
Okay.
Yeah, no, if you can see
it?
it.
Okay.
So,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's actually translucent paper.
Nice. That. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm a fan of Yupo. It's really good for like people would use it for menus and things like that because of the waterproof.
Right. Yeah.
I never got to spec that kind of paper. I never got a chance to do anything like that as a designer, but yeah, that's super fun. But then I see some other things.
Yeah,
down
so I kind of like bounce between one of these and
a big one, and then a
like
smaller thing.
some Yupo, because the Yupo ones are usually quicker because you just can't really. Here, this one's. You can't really mess with it as much. I don't know. It just kind of it's a little faster than the watercolors. So I've never really done abstract kind of stuff before. So yeah, just like experimenting. But that was kind of what I wanted to do here was like take some time to experiment and do different sort of. It's stuck.
So as an abstract piece, experimental piece, how do you start?
Well, that one over there that one started with a different Raphael composition, and so you can see that underneath is the Raphael composition, and then I just started making a mess on top of it and started wiping away. It turned into just mud at one point, but I just kept wiping until.
So this one there's more of a representational image in there. Yeah.
This one is based on another Renaissance painting, Artemisia, something like that.
Yep.
This one is based on just a tree that's in your yard.
Yeah, I was going to say, that tree looks familiar. No, I'm just
kidding.
I can tell it's a tree, though.
The one over there. Yeah.
The front one, the corner, that funky one,
Yeah, it's kind of...
I think those are called empress trees.
Well, that's a nice name.
They're from China.
Really?
And they, apparently, the wood from them is hard but grows fast, and it's lightweight, so it's like similar to bamboo. So apparently at some point they started growing those to export wood to Japan or something.
Really?
And now it's kind of like an invasive species. So there's little ones back here. Yeah. And at first, for a long time, I thought that tree was super ugly. And then spring happened last year, and it has these really amazing, like flower bunches things that'll happen on it. It's really pretty. So I've decided that the ugly tree is actually really pretty, which is a good aesthetic thing to
That's nice.
understand, right? That there is beauty in what some might think that is nothing. That's someone who maybe doesn't have a trained art background would be like, well, what is that? That's just, as a designer person, I used to get criticized a lot. People would be like, what are you coloring over there? Right? It was very demeaning of like, but it was because people don't understand what you're doing. Right. So someone might be like, that's ugly, or, a kid could do that. Right. Like they use like demeaning or derogatory because they don't understand. Right. But there's beauty in the experimentation of it. Right. And the process that you've gone through.
Yeah,
so
and they're really fun to make.
Yeah.
It's just splatters.
That's awesome.
Slinging paint around.
Yeah.
And I can, with watercolor, me and Chow have been talking about, like, the paper has, like, a limit that it can take. It kind of starts...
like falling apart almost?
Yeah. I almost rips through paper sometimes. But Yupo, you just work on it forever, kind of like oil painting.
Right.
You can scrape off. And,
so that's fun.
Yeah. Just keep on till you're like, I get this.
That's fun. That's really fun. Awesome. So you're doing way more experimental stuff compared to what he's doing over there with his like really refined architectural sketches. Like I'm super impressed by those. Right. Those are awesome. Yeah, but this is really like loose and fun and freeing.
Yeah. Let's see. Here's it's stuck. Okay.
Oh wow.
A bigger one. So
is that the one you started with? In the other space?
No. Yeah. Actually, because I completely.
You were showing it to me. It was like.
Because I completely. Yeah, I didn't like it before, so I just completely went over
wow,
it again.
Yeah. And how the was it the coldness was making it?
Yeah, it
funky?
took like a few days for it to dry because it was just freezing.
Yeah.
The ink here.
Yeah.
I went back 3 days later and it had frozen, so it never dried.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, so it's definitely better to work inside.
And so. Yeah, when I started it over there, I had a different idea for it, and then when I came back here, it's actually the same, based on the same Raphael painting.
Yeah.
Like the composition is
okay.
similar.
Yeah, I can see that. Awesome.
Yeah, and then that first one, you saw this one. The more traditional watercolor.
Yeah. Look at those mountains.
Travels.
Wow. And where did you say this was again?
It's Svaneti in the country of Georgia.
Wow.
So like.
And those are like old.
These are old
like castle buildings.
Yeah, they're like towers to defend the city, and they are like lit up at night, and they're really beautiful. Yeah, they've been there for I don't know how long, a long time. They're really cool.
So most of your work is landscape like this, right?
Varies.
It varies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some of it is. Yeah.
And are you planning on doing any more landscapes while you're here?
Yeah, probably.
Or is it just kind of spontaneous what you feel like?
I'm gonna do some more landscapes. I've got a lot of ideas though. So
from your own images or from things that you've seen here?
I do have some that I want to do from here.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Just how fast my hand can move to get through the different
now,
ideas.
In Japan they use is it the sumi ink?
Yeah.
Where they would go over like to the lines just to make them. Do you ever do anything like that where you go over with like pen or? Yeah.
So what I do, I haven't done it much on the watercolor paper, but I do have this is sumi ink, so you rub this in here, and it makes black ink. And yeah, usually for the more expressionist ones, then I'll use that ink and get this brush and kind of like.
Oh,
do like pollock splatters.
Okay. And then let's talk about this tool here. So this tool you use a lot, right? And it's made out of bamboo. So we were experimenting. Did you cut some of them?
I have been. Here we go.
Oh, cool.
So this is what these are. This one, I spent money on it. It's pretty nice. These ones I just cut from the bamboo outside. So
let's see
they've got it looks bloody or something.
That's okay.
But
let's see if I can video that.
Yeah.
So you're changing the tips, right?
Yeah, and
to get a different.
Well, and these I use because I don't want to mess up this one with acrylic.
Oh, yeah.
So these ones I use to push acrylic around. As you can see, it's stuck in there.
That's a great idea for using the bamboo.
Yeah, and if it gets
the dimension good for holding and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're great.
That's really great.
Need to cut down some more.
Awesome. So do you work mostly from photographs?
Yeah. Usually
You'll find
even
something
like
that
the abstract ones, I still am looking at at some sort of thing. I don't know. I can't.
For like color references or composition?
Yeah. All that. Yeah.
So I saw you outside early one morning. So you have your camera with you.
Oh yeah.
When you're photographing, are you thinking about your paintings
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you thinking about the composition and the colors when you're photographing?
Yeah, I'd say yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, like I've taken photographs for years, and I always would try to make like a good photograph. But recently, I've realized no, I was always like in the back of my mind like getting references for paintings.
Yeah.
Because I always like thought like, oh, it could be better if it was just like
yeah.
just
So do you think
bit.
you look mostly more for color?
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe composition. Too.
Yeah.
Just different elements, forms, things like that are interesting.
So, have you always been a painter?
For a long time. I mean, like in high school and college, I drew and painted a lot. I took a lot of classes, but then I kind of put it on the back burner for a while when I was teaching ESL overseas.
Yeah.
Then the last couple of years, I really started getting back into it.
Nice. Awesome. Great. All right, so what's next? You got another month. I can't believe it's like time. The time is weird here. Yeah. Which is also why I was a few minutes late, because it's like like the time is like almost flexible here. Yeah. You don't realize it like it's happening.
That's totally true.
Yeah.
Because it feels like I've been here a really long time, but also not.
Right.
That long
Exactly. Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Exactly.
Next, yeah, I've got. I just feel like I have more ideas than I have time to do everything. I've got put everything on top now. Some different sketches and things. I've been
nice, yeah.
trying to work through and let's see a couple more. Like I'd like to. Oh wait, there's this one too.
Whoops,
they're all falling in.
Sorry,
That's okay.
Sorry. Wow, yeah.
Just different ideas of things I'd like to do bigger. And like I'd like to do. Oh, this one was.
Great sketchbooks.
This one was. This was when it was snowing, and I tried to do a plein air, and
it was cold.
Literally the painting froze. So there's some weird little ice things.
Were you doing that across the street?
I was right there.
Oh,
this is your house so here.
Yeah, in the studio.
Yeah. So.
And it literally froze. Working. That is funny. Fun. Well, that's a good story.
Yeah. And let's see, where'd the other one go? Yeah, and I'd like to do this one. This one was actually driving through Oklahoma. I'd like to do that one.
Nice.
Larger.
Speaking of scale, is this kind of the large size that you would go if you did that larger?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of like with watercolor, it's kind of hard to get a lot bigger than that. But
because of the paper?
Yeah, but maybe with this ripping thing, I could start.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
Like,
yeah. You could have as many pieces as you need, like a billboard kind of thing, like just assemble like a quilt almost, like large enough. Yeah. Tearing it together. That's an interesting idea.
Yeah, and I like the join of the tear. Kind of, I like that more than like a straight line, something like that.
Do you think that's one of the primary components of this piece, as almost like a different kind of experiment for you, that you're figuring out like paper and layering and stuff, and like workarounds for the material, like you were comparing to the oil painting?
Like, because I did try the tearing with another piece. And it didn't really work out. Chow saw me struggling with it because I tried to paste it first with like wheat paste, but the water just made the wheat paste come out. So I was like, well, this doesn't. So it's taped right now. But I do think that's part of it, and I kind of wanted to have like a kind of the triangle, like a counter motion to the pyramid going up there.
Yeah, nice. I was going to ask you a question. Oh, well, there was a photographer here 2 summers ago, Jeremy, and he was kind of saying the same thing, where it was, he set up a darkroom out on the back deck. Cool. He made it like a I don't know, it was kind of like a grow, one of those like grow tent things. So it was like super hot in there. So it was like reflective, right? And he would have to go inside of it and do the work, right? And then he would sweat, like drops of sweat would fall on the photograph and like create these like really cool droplet things, stuff like that. So it was, but he hadn't thought about that before, right? So it was like the process of the randomness that happens, like the frozen paint or the paper that turns back into wheat paste or something like that. Like that type of allowing those kinds of things to just happen to kind of like figure stuff out as like a giant puzzle, right?
Yeah. The process all becomes elements of the artwork.
Awesome. And you said that you had applied to the grad program, or you are applying?
I had applied, but I only applied to one school.
Okay.
Didn't get in this year, so I'm going to apply to more schools next year.
Yeah, cool. So some of this work will be portfolio stuff.
Some of this will go into that.
Okay, well, we'll touch base again soon. Cool. See what you're working on, and then do kind of a closing, like this is what I did. Awesome. Okay, thanks.